Let me unmute everyone, and we shall begin our show. Welcome, folks, to the post-mortem of the Fast Furious February Creator Jam, put together by our good friend Alb down here. And
Hello.
welcome, Alb, and welcome, Cyril.
Hi.
And of course, our hostess with the mostest, JM.
Hello.
I'm like the waiter at wait till you get like a cup in your mouth and the
It was well timed,
real,
sir. Well timed.
And this is Hannibal, guys. He's a 1-year-old Bernese Mountain Dog Great Pyrenees mix, and he's saying hello. He's a little lovey today because I had to leave him alone for a couple hours to go to the doctor, and he's not used to that. So he's like, especially like, "Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I ate the door. Thanks."
I agree the dog needs his own headsets.
That's right. I agree,
does.
Grom.
So welcome everybody. Yeah, David, I know it's a little late, but we had to wait till March to brag about all the cool entries.
Yeah. And there's some great ones.
Yeah, we really did get some really good stuff. So I'm gonna leave my comment now, and then I misspelled entries. I put end tires. There we go. There's my comment, and I'm gonna show it because I have the power. See, there we go. Okay, we're cool now. And welcome everybody else. Oh, look, all the cool people. We need to go stream more. Just thinking about this, we should do like some chill streams. Like right before the show, we were talking about like lit crit and movies, and so we should totally just have like let's talk about narrative and media that's applicable to gaming because Albs has some cool opinions about stuff like.
I have opinion about everything, so don't tempt me.
We like Donald's got opinions that people like, and I have opinions that people should just admire and like, and maybe not JM so much. He's got weird thoughts.
I do
weird
have weird
intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
Those are the best ones. The insanity fueled by insomnia ones.
Oh yeah, I've been pondering anti-life all day. That's
yeah,
noodling it all day.
And it's not even Friday for these things. I mean, normally it's like heading into the weekend, you can get the real weird thought stuff. But no, it's still productivity part of the week, and we're already thinking about the crazy stuff. But man, we appreciate you guys all showing up for this. So I'll give us the rundown. What was the Fast Furious February Creator Jam? What was the goal? What was
it was an insomnia fueled insanity as well.
Yes.
It started as not a dare, but like a crazy idea that was thrown on the unofficial Facebook group, I think. Like, we should have a creator jam, and I don't remember who had the idea. It wasn't me. Sorry about that, but to name it Fast Furious February, which was very good. We added the fun ones, so it doesn't sound like a Fast and Furious movie homage or something.
Oh, wait. As long as you mention that, now I got to play our intro for the Fast Furious features. Oh my God, where's the intro? It's so good. I will find it. We did a really cool video intro for Fast Furious. Anyways, I'll find it. We'll play it later because it's got the Fast and Furious music theme.
And it all started as simple, like we want to have a moment to share creations and have to force us to create something that's not necessarily in our schedule, or just to showcase all the good stuff that the community can do, aces, swags, fans, and everything. So I went over to the Discord group and I pitched the idea, and then I did what I always do afterwards. I just hired an artist to make a cool logo for it, and that's pretty much it. Savagepedia offered to host a cool page for the authors to post their work, and the rest is history. It's a very good first year. We still have plenty of room to grow. I'm sure it could be even better next year, but we have a good showing, a lot of new faces, as well as old timers as well. So Cyril, who's probably the author of half the stuff on Drive Through,
Yeah, many more.
And Zanmar, who I'm probably his biggest fan, also made something. And we had Christian, who also made something, and many more. I'm forgetting people, but we'll come back to you. Don't worry, I have the list right here when we show the different stuff. So we had a lot of old timers and new timers as well. So that was very, very fun to do. I had to put everything aside and start something new, so I had something to work as well. So I know some people just posted what they had in work for a long time. Others created something from scratch in February. I cheated because I knew it was coming. I work in January and February for that.
Nice.
Creator's
But-
prerogative, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
But I don't want it to be like my project, because it's really not my project, it's our projects as creators of the Savage Worlds community. So that's something that I really wanted to make sure that all felt welcome to participate, and that's something that I think worked, because I had many stuff. Yeah, what the thing I like is it wasn't only adventures or settings or something. You had supplements for extras and everything. So we had a lot of good stuff going on.
And I was surprised we had quite a lot of jump starts. I didn't expect
Yep.
people to
Yeah.
create full settings or small settings, but I thought we would get like a few edges, or maybe just an adventure, or maybe just some characters. But we got quite big products, in fact.
Mhm.
It was very interesting. Yeah.
I surprised myself how much I could dish out in 2 months.
Well, I think next year we'll make sure that we start advertising Fast Furious February on Savage Universe
Mhm.
well in advance.
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
We could do it during the Fast Furious fall features, which
That's right.
don't
Yeah.
back away from the association with Fast and Furious. I did find every. I'm gonna play a little bit of it just because the music is awesome, and we'll get back to actually the Fast Furious February. But you know. So, anyways, yes, that's what happens when you give Chris too much time ahead of stuff. And we were doing like this, like we did this summer jam. I can't remember what we called it, but we had like a cute little pun name for the summer stuff. So I'm like,
The
well,
only thing that the only
Okay.
thing that was missing was this fall coming to your table.
that's true. In a world,
Voice.
Yeah.
I heard that guy died, which makes me sad.
Oh,
Yeah, one of the-
epic trailer guy is dead. Oh, that's terrible.
I know. Yeah, I don't know whether he's the one who did Epic Twitter, like the industry dude who did like In a World. I think he kicked the bucket. So sad to hear. We don't do much many voiceovers, because I don't know. It's you really need quality voice actors, or else they come out kind of cheesy
Mhm.
just a little bit. So not too many of our Kickstarter videos or the stuff I come up with do we go there. So just as much as I hate my voice, I wouldn't want to inflict it any more on people with trying to do voice actor work. But awesome. So since you're here first, Cyril, let's talk about what did you submit for Fast Furious February?
A team effort. I was trying to find an idea to produce something in February. I knew that I would only start to work on it in February because I wanted to finish the update of Tom Empires before. I rushed that. Thanks to you, Alb, I managed to put much effort into it and finish it in time. And then I got the idea to write an adventure, and I knew that Jan Jetmar, JT, planned one day to create this setting about cops in a medieval fantasy city. And I came to him and said, well, I know you need a bit of motivation to finish your product like me. So let's work together and see if we can come up with something. And he said, challenge accepted. Then we hired Vazant, who playtest the adventure. We hired Alan from Secret Files of Section D, who gave us ideas, change a bit the ideas we had, proposed characters also, and Zadmar also, Richard Woolcock, who helped us with ideas and reviewing. And we also had Dan Irvin, who also wrote Blood and Sand, I think, an adventure for February. He proofread what we did. So 6 persons behind a small title. But yeah.
It was, I read it all. It's very, very good. I really enjoyed
Thank
it.
you very much.
I actually very, very like the setting of a big, sprawling medieval city. I think that's one of my favorite setting ever. And the only thing that was missing was the old timer archetype. Then had only 2 weeks from retirement as a quote. That's the only thing that was missing, I think.
I'm almost out of here. You pull me back in. So yeah, let's
We
show
can
the cover.
improve.
So this is the cover of The Case of the Misguided Lover, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
this is the first adventure. The plan is to have multiple adventures, all in the same. Yes, exactly. Oh, this one are what we might come up if we have the time. So the idea is to publish each adventure with the explanation of the settings on the first pages. Maybe the next adventure will have new elements to the settings, and we will most probably update the first PDFs to get this also in the first PDF. We try to make the adventure that they can be used outside of the setting too. If someone wants to just plug them into their setting, and even without playing cops, if possible. Yeah, and for the first adventure, we wanted something simple, so no fantasy companion, no spell casting. It exists in the setting, it will come, but first adventure, something simple, and that we can write in 20 days or so. That was also the goal.
Yeah, the idea that you had in the first page, all the cities and the most popular settings, fantasy settings, you could plug the adventure into was very good, because if you had like people playing Savage Eberron, they could put it in Charn. If you had people playing in Lankmar, or that was a very, very good idea, I think, to make it as accessible as possible to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited about it because, of course, like if you saw
SWAT.
right, SWAT, exactly.
That's right.
I knew about these settings. I had it. I didn't know it was you.
Spells, weapons, and tactics.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I'm encouraged to get back to actually finishing that and getting it out to folks after seeing the good job you guys did. I love the layout here. Yeah. I think it's part of the space that's kind of missing in a lot of games is like procedurals. I mean, it is. It's a huge staple of television, certainly of books, and I don't think RPGs have done a whole lot of it. And there's some interesting different aspects to police procedurals if you've got any kind of fantasy going on, right? And or just that kind of the expectations of role-playing games. And my initial approach to it was that like making it a police procedural would clean up the behavior a bit and add new challenges to typical dungeon delving, in the essence that like, I mean, nothing against murder hoboing, and people like use it really as a negative term. It really is how early D&D and other fantasy games were written. That was, they were written to reward you for getting treasure by killing stuff. But I'm like, that's been done. That has been done. There's a whole lot of that. And what happens when you can't just kill everything to resolve and progress the plot? And So yeah, the way I came at it was like, cops are good. Cops actually, they're bringing in the police aspect of it makes your otherwise questionably moral murder hobo party have to behave better. And then some political stuff happened in the real world. It was like, well, that narrative isn't as clear right now, so maybe we should wait until that narrative calms down and we can get back to procedural being about your characters doing good and being the heroes. And of course, there's still internal affairs because I know that, or maybe infernal affairs. It just depends. Players will behave badly, but there should be consequences for that. So to me, it's more interesting to do some new kind of storytelling on, like, I don't know. I know a friend, actually, as long as we're talking, this is casual. Let me pull this up. I got this for Christmas from my friend Brian. And it's this book called The Monsters Know What They're Doing.
It's a great book.
And it's by Keith Amon. And he's got another book out too now. And
what's this book? I don't.
Okay, so the basic concept is. Oh, I'm sorry. My dog is getting run over by my chair. So the basic concept is, how, like, when you were 12 and didn't know military or regular tactics, that you would go from room to room in a dungeon, and the flavor of the enemies you're fighting didn't really change depending on what race or what monster class or whatever type they were. It was just kind of like attack back and forth, and whatever happened. So this guy's blog comes along with the point of, like, what happens if the monsters aren't stupid? Like, they don't, like, the next room doesn't just hear a massacre going on behind a little red curtain and wait to, like, not ambush you. Or they don't, like, if you have a certain monster that's really good at paralysis spells, they use them, and they use them tactically or whatever. So he goes through and basically gives you advice on kind of the traditional D&D, but other kind of just fantasy monsters, on how to play those as a game master to demonstrate that they're not all just idiots waiting to be fodder, that they're actually going to use tactics against your players. And
that's
right.
Yeah. I just talked about that on Behind the Screen. Like, it's one of the ways to make things scary again, because this is their home. Yeah,
that's incredible and terrible, because that's one thing I wanted to write in Savage World. I started with Here Be Dragons, which is exactly this, but with dragons, how to play dragons intelligently and how to react to a dragon that plays intelligently. So yeah, that's a very, very, very good idea, and I feel terrible because someone had it before me.
Right, but we should have no shame on ripping this stuff off and using it. Like, just because they got to press first, that's never stopped anybody. And that's the thing. Though, so I think the same kind of elements that you guys have got going on in the City Chronicles is, like, in crime solving. And there's a different take on it. Like, I'd love to have you guys back on and we'll talk about this, like, on how to build procedurals. Because one of the things that I've been working on, it's not super clear to me on how to get it done, but I do want to get it done, is to have both a going in, the game master knows what happened, who did it, who the criminals are, and the players find out or not. And also a secondary system that is it is not determined who did it, what actually happened as you go in. And the fact is you'll never actually find out. Just like in real life, where you collect clues, you collect data, and you take it to a jury, and then a jury makes a decision. And maybe you think, the DNA clinched it or the eyewitness clinched it, but you never really know that that's what's part of the game. Part of the game is non-determinism. You just get and there's the ability even afterwards to roll on a table or find a result, whatever happens, that turns out some new evidence shows up or something, some wrench in the thing comes out later. And how do you guys respond to that?
That's
all right.
That's
I know
an incredible idea.
Have you played the Android board game?
Mm-mm.
So in the Android board game, you are playing through a mystery, but each person gets dealt the person they have to make sure doesn't get pinned for the murder and the person they're trying to pin for the murder. Okay. And so as they discover clues, they assign them to the person. They assign the clue tokens. You could do something like that, where each PC, as they uncover new evidence, well, who does this evidence point to? And at the end, where's the evidence, placed? Maybe even negative clue points, so that it looks like I'm trying to frame one person, but I'm actually lowering their suspect rating because I'm giving them alibis or something that holds up.
Yes.
You could do something like that, and that would be
Definitely.
dastardly.
Right, yeah.
Something like a cooperative GM game, instead of having one guy being the sole responsible for everything that happens. You give some of that power back to players so they can influence who they believe in. So that's interesting, because when you have like a few suspects, you could have a possibility to dig more on a suspect and find new stuff. Oh yeah, that's very good. And
Yeah.
it's never the first guy, or it's always the first guy,
Or it's
depending on.
It's
Well,
always
right.
the wife.
And that was the thing, is like, when and this was the issue I struggled with, because like, I'm like researching like Agatha Christie, and how did she do it? How did she create these, stories where if you piece it along, you can jump between suspects, and then there's a big reveal at the end. And I'm like, that just really requires a level of participation by the players that you're not going to get. Players will go random directions and not get. There's like, oh, what if we don't know who really did it? And that's why they bounce around, and you have to develop, means, motive, opportunity for multiple different, suspects. And as long as, and that's kind of how the right. I mean, when those mystery writers do it, it's just so. I mean, they know where they're going in the end, or however. And RPGs can't be that way. Or if you write it that way, if everything is fully, this is the truth, and there are red herrings, but you should be able to figure them out. Well, the second you have a player who has a different idea that could be super creative and it fits the evidence so far, and they go on the tangent, the mystery is kind of ruined there, because you don't have anything prepared for them. Either you have to be like super smart on the fly, or it's like, how do I make this game interesting? And like, I played in a game with a really good friend. It was a murder mystery, and we missed one little clue. And it was like 4 or 5 hours of boredom, because we just didn't get the thing we needed to get to the next step. And I know some games like Gumshoe are always like, you always get the clue, but there's other consequences. I like that. But I'm also just thinking like, but wait a minute. Like, what happens? I mean, isn't the interesting thing about the criminal justice system in real life is that we don't actually always know, and people do get the wrong person, or you do all the good work and you do all the things that you think you've checked all the boxes, and you put it in front of a jury and they screw it up. And there's an abortion of justice because they screwed it up. And
that's more like Law and Order, actually, than you have the police work and the lawyer work at the same time that you need to take into consideration.
Yeah,
that's very, very. I'm baffled, because that's awesome.
So Tablecat Games said that Brindlewood Bay gets this kind of stuff.
Let me see, where did we go? Could you pop that question up?
Sure.
Yeah,
I have the power too.
You do. I give you power, and it's like. So I've heard good things about Brindlewood Bay. I heard it's very much like Murder, She Wrote kind of thing. And for SWAT, we're doing Mordor, She Wrote, and right? I know. I just do it for the puns. Seriously, there's no serious game design here. It's just for horrible dad puns. But that's kind of the thing. It's like I want to do the both. I want to do the investigative and the trial lawyer stuff at the same time. And right, He-Man does not. I do like his hair though. I mean, just the glowing.
I'm a little jealous. Right?
Yeah. Me and JM, the chrome domes. Although whatever his sidekick dude was with the metal head, like he's more our speed for hair goals. But the So anyways, I mean, I'm super glad that you guys are working on this, and like totally love the actual first mission. So I'm impressed that there just needs to be more stuff in that sphere. So I'm happy that you guys are.
Yeah. We planned. Well, we wanted to see whether it works or not, and the amount of sale, we say. I can't find the word in English, but we got nice response, and a lot of people said it was nicely laid out.
It looks great.
JT has done a very good work at putting links and flow charts and summary of what are the next steps, which makes the book very practical, easy to use at the table, I think.
Yeah, super utilitarian for a game master. I mean, that was the first thing that really came off to me. Is I know I've seen like Christian Nome do some really cool stuff with his PDFs, like make it look like you're using a digital pad and kind of zooming around with the links. But yeah, this was super intuitive and really nicely done with being able to be like, I mean, that's just a really impressive thing with like a fan product, like a swag kind of product. You usually don't see that level of layout and thought and design. And I'm like, wow, this makes up for a lot of the shortcomings I think are in other murder mystery type or police procedural kind of games, where they were, a lot of those systems they pull their design ethic from like 1980, and this is not. This is very updated, very modern, and useful. I mean, so I'm like, oh, I could actually run this, given that how you guys link the different sections and then link back. So in case characters go on a tangent, I'm like, this is really smart, really nice.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much. Yeah. So the idea is to have a full setting at some point with maybe one adventure every month. Well, let's be honest, maybe 2 months will be already good.
And now, if that works, you should have a Blades in the Dark type of game in the same setting with thieves trying to evade the cops.
But with rules that are awesome and not clunky.
Have the Wire crossover type of thing.
Yeah, we only have so much time.
Yes. Yeah. Just ask JM how he feels about Blades in the Dark.
Positive comments on the stream.
Landauer, okay, then we'll move on.
Well, hey, seeing as we've got Table Cat games in the chat, we should do Street Wolves because they put out 2 different things for.
Oh, that's Street Wolves is awesome. Like
Street Wolves.
The art direction is
lovely,
very, very incredible. I say that's in my top 3 art direction in the Savage World book, because you feel the setting just by looking at the image. You know what you're talking about just by looking at it.
And the character sheet is gorgeous.
Yep. That's a proof that you don't necessarily need a lot of images to get your point across. That's very simple. You see all the inspiration you need to see in those images.
Yeah, I mean, super great, awesome, like Miami Vice. Speaking of procedural, right, super awesome vibe. I just love that the communities all go in the same place. I'm like, we need more of this, and like people are providing.
We should just do like a design stream where we just get a bunch of people on and talk about how.
Absolutely.
Like, that's actually something I would love to do. Just jamming ideas and trying to see what we can do, what we can come up with together. That's something I actually enjoy very much, because writing in essence is something very, very an individualistic approach. You do stuff with yourself, with your own head, and when you have all those ideas together, I think you become bigger than the sum of the parts, because you wouldn't even dream about something and someone just had the right idea at the right moment. That's but we were talking about Street Wolves. Sorry, I diverged.
Yeah. Okay. So since we got the creator in the chat, let's see. Give us some comments, man. Give us what's the elevator pitch for Street Wolves, and then we'll pop your comment up, and we will talk about how cool it is. And so we're on the spot now. But I 100% agree about just like the communal building. I mean, that is the biggest revelation for me on the swag program, and how much the Discord has helped bring folks together to cooperate with each other, to do initiatives. And that's really kind of why we are doing Savage Universe, is to be just another means of so to preempt, we'll talk a little about Savage Universe. We're waiting for the end, but since we're waiting for a little Street Wolves from Table Cat, hopefully Table Cat's still here. the impetus behind Savage Universe was it was already in process before the kind of the OGL thing. But I think the OGL thing, the dust up there. My take on it is that demonstrated the passion and the desire for access to by the creative community to properties, right? And that was kind of a big push. Where there was making sure people still had access. And I think we already have a good series of licenses for Savage Worlds to give people access to our properties. I think the levels we're happy with it. I think the community creators are pretty happy with it. And there's always looking at what we can do more. I mean, like just recently we expanded. Like we haven't really had any aces do Pinnacle properties before, like Deadlands or ETU. But we've allowed Carl Kiesler and the guys at Doghouse Rules, like, hey, you can start producing some Deadlands material. That'd be cool. Let's just see if that works. And because they've already demonstrated a great deal of trust and good faith by helping out on Savage Pathfinder, and then all the great stuff they've done in their own westerns. So it's like this is probably not too much of a risk. And there's always a risk, putting the main IP that we have to be protective of, just because it puts food on people's tables, and there's other issues with like licensing to film and licensing to movies and video games.
But the thing about Deadlands and many of the like Rippers or Necessary Evil or anything, you don't need to have access to the license to produce stuff that is compatible. I can only make a Weird West adventure or Weird West supplements. Is that a word? Supplement?
Yeah.
Sorry, sometimes I just make.
Yeah.
Want to talk
French here?
Yeah, we need more French people here. There's not. It's not French enough.
It's not sexy enough in here yet. We determined that adding French before the pre-stream, we're just talking about a certain novel, and that French definitely raised the romance level, should we say, of the subtext of the novel.
And
fantasy.
The Table Cat Games answered. I think he has
the
elevator pitch, which is that's very, very cool. I see like. One of the things I like about such an idea when you talk about a generic setting is it can apply to dozens of movies and TV series and everything, and it all works. It could be like what's the name of the series with the talking car? Knight Rider. It can be what. I have images in my head, but the series, the movie with the guy with the shades that he sees zombies with it. Trying to, you have. I don't have any. They Live. Yes, They Live. Thank you. You can have a lot of stuff. You can take inspiration from a lot of stuff to play into the Street Wolf setting, or you can use Street Wolf to play in a lot of already existing setting. So that's something I like about such books, because they open so much possibilities, and I'm sure there's a lot of IP that Table Cat Games didn't knew about but replicated perfectly with his book as well. So that's something like I very, very enjoy.
Well, all right, and so I love the elevator pitch. Street Wolves is a synthwave, retro futuristic setting that features heroes on the edge of fighting evil, lurking in the shadows. It's moody but rad. Moody but rad totally captures that entire genre. The like as big of drama as there was Hair back in the 80s, right? Like just waiting to get set on fire and all go down in flames.
How'd you know what happened?
Right. Been there, done that.
That's right. My hair metal band days are behind me. So.
I'm not showing my face for a reason.
I just said I never grew a mohawk when I had the ability to. So if they ever solve the male pattern baldness crisis, and I can grow it all back, the first thing I'm going to do is just grow a mohawk, just to say I could grow a mohawk. I know we just love seeing like the creativity, the diversity, oh my god, Airwolf.
Airwolf was so good, Darren.
I don't think Airwolf was actually that good, but it is my all-time favorite opening tune.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my god, it's so
I have no idea what Airwolf is.
It's like Knight Rider, but with a helicopter.
Yeah.
Supercopter.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fantastic. and just the like it was on like I think on my TV as a kid it was like on like before or after MacGyver. MacGyver much better writing and interest, but and then MacGyver's opening is good. It's a solid 8 out of 10. But Airwolf. I mean, I'd put Airwolf on a mixtape, just the opening because you know
there's literally only one song for a TV show that is better than the Airwolf opening, and that is DuckTales, and I will fight you on that.
Oh, DuckTales is good.
Yeah. A-Team comes close. A-Team comes close. But
I'm going to add Game of Thrones as a good.
Except there's no. Yeah, that's true. Ramin Djawadi did a fucking fantastic job on Game of Thrones. And I'm glad they kept it for the new series with like House of Dragon. I was just like, you can't beat what you did, so don't just use it again.
The same thing for the DuckTales, the new DuckTales series, just
exactly
use the exact same.
The
exact same thing. So I like also the Lost opening. It's basically just
moody.
one long note.
Yeah, it was moody.
And then ended with every instrument playing at once.
Oh my God, Quantum Leap. Okay, so here's the thing. The new Quantum Leap show, I've only watched the first couple episodes because they like stalled them out for some reason. They better go back and retcon and Sam never got home again. Or, like that was like the most soul crushing ending of an 80s series TV show. So as long as Scott Bakula is still alive, they have time. I mean, they've already lost the other amazing actor. But
speaking about cartoons opening themes, I have a lot of. I know a lot of good cartoons opening themes. My favorite one is definitely Cyber 6, but it's such an obscure cartoon. Like I think I'm the only one that knows about it. But watch
Thundercats. Thundercats is my cartoon.
Thundercats.
Thundercats.
Old good time.
Yeah. Krezik in the chat. He's down with you, man. Canadian animation. And,
it was, I think, a Portuguese Canadian combo or something like that. The original BD. Help me, Cyril. What's a BD in English? I'm
cartoon, comic book.
No, comic book.
No?
Yeah, the original comic book was Portuguese, I think. But it was such a good TV series. But yeah,
and you gotta trust Krezik, because he's got that is clearly a Don Bluth character, maybe from like Secrets of NIMH, possibly. Which was like totally like if Disney was mainstream, Don Bluth was like the punk rock alternative of animation in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I know they eventually got bought out by Disney, but like, there was a time where there was a choice. It wasn't only Disney, and or maybe they were like Disney first and then like branched off. I don't know.
Don Bluth was worked at Disney and just decided to go work on his own stuff and made so many good movies.
Right? NIMH was just scary as all get out.
Yeah, I know that my first one of the first movie I watched was All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's very, very good. And and
did they do Fievel too, or did Disney do Fievel?
What?
Fievel? Yeah, like the little like Russian Jewish mouse who comes to America looking for the streets of gold. I'm good. I know we're supposed to be talking about Ace and stuff, and we are. It's Thursday. Let's do 80s strip.
This is the best stream.
When
American Tail.
I'm going to go on a tangent because that's what I think we do best. You talk about how police procedural was a new idea, and one of the thing I really liked about the adventures that we had was we had adventures across the board from all genre. We had like moody, teenage, angsty adventure where we deal with death and themes. We had like superhero looking for stuff. We had conspiracy with dark states, and
Yeah.
that was the dark state one. I think is best described as what if Romeo and Juliet was written by H.P. Lovecraft. That's pretty much
Oh,
that. Very short adventure, but it's pretty much it. And so we had like I wrote something about Final Fantasy and the Japanese role-playing games, and so we had very stuff across the board. That's something I really enjoyed, because it wasn't I was afraid the theme, having a theme, would put too much emphasis on it, but we had everything. We had police procedural, we had so many good things.
Yeah, let's run down the list, because so if you guys don't know, all of this is in support of the Savagepedia Wiki, which you can check out all of these offerings. I will post the link right now in the comments. And
you beat me to it.
right there we go. I will cover my face instead. Let's see, where's Cyril? We'll move Cyril over. Can we move Cyril? There we go.
That's okay.
And so it is at Savagepedia Wiki/wiki/FFFF February, and you can get to all these things. So let's run down. And I think JM can throw up some of these overlays on the screen as we get to them too. As we got some titles for them. But the on the adventure side,
Seize the Grand Vizier is dungeon crawl, very classic dungeon crawl with teleporting stuff all around, which is very interesting. Blood in the Sand is a dark state adventure with weird stuff going out, and a Romeo and Juliet vibe, but with weird stuff going out. Operation Vagabond is from Titan Effect, written by my good friend Christian, which is, for those who don't know, Titan Effect is what if what's the word? The G.I. Joe and Metal Gear Solid had a baby. That's pretty much what Titan Effect is, which is very awesome. And the adventure is a pretty simple one, but a very good introduction to what you can do and how everything works. Yeah, Titan Effect is Super Spies vs. Furries.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good way to
Sum it up.
yeah. And afterwards we had, like, I'm looking at the adventures, Undying Love, which is not the dungeon crawl, but more classic adventure, a very good one. And the New Girl is the one I was talking about. It's very teen angst, but in a good way, when you explore all the stuff that makes teenagers tick, and there's drama, there's loss, there's grief, there's everything. So it has something for everyone. So that's what I very enjoy about it. You don't need to love something in particular. You'll have something you like, is pretty sure.
Excellent.
May I speak about Mind Runners? That's probably my favorite one.
Yeah. We'll zoom down there a bit because we do that. Yeah. I love the cover, by the way. It's like, look at that little meat chopper on the front of their mine cart.
Yeah, the Mind Runner is written by Richard Woolcock, which is my favorite author in Savage Worlds, hands down. He wrote Saga of the Goblin Horde, and Mind Runner is compatible with Saga of the Goblin Horde. That's something I really enjoy. So you are looking at it's more like Moria the RPG, where you're playing dwarves that want to go as deep as possible to find riches, but find zombies and monsters. And I really enjoyed the setting rules. So you had you have a setting rule where if you draw a diamond as initiative card, you can find shiny stuff, but you get distracted as a result. So it's
Oh, nice.
it's very, very, very good. It's simple. It's clear. You have stuff for everyone. I really enjoy Zadmar's style, how he writes, how he presents stuff. So that's my favorite one. But maybe because I'm a fanboy, so that doesn't count, I think.
Nice.
So I really, really, really enjoy Mind Runners, and it's very short. That's the thing. We had to put good products, but short products, and it shows that we can put a lot of stuff in in a few words as possible, because we had to make sure it was ready. I think Mind Runner was released the very last day of February, or the day just before the end of February. So yeah,
And it's a micro setting and an adventure.
Yeah,
if I remember right.
Way too much fun. Way too much fun. And see, I mean, I just love the creativity and the fun. And I mean, I think the best part about what I see about the Savage Worlds community producing is I don't see reproduction of the same old stuff. I think it's just a whole lot of creativity, doing interesting spins on things to keep things fresh and interesting, and or just tackling genres that aren't already being overworked to death by other publishers. Definitely a good example of that, Ultimate Reverie. I think that one's like old school Japanese role-playing video games. They've got setting rules, a complete adventure, pre-gens. And it answers such question as, how could you implement save points into a tabletop role-playing game? Interesting.
Yeah, but the thing I tried to do with Ultimate Reverie is take all the classical JRPGs tropes, like save points and classes and everything, and try to find
health potions, mana potions, or stuff like that.
HP, MP, and try to find a way to make it work in Savage Worlds. And I think I pretty much like when you defeat monsters and get money out of it, even though they're monsters. So I try to find a logical explanation in the world why you get money when you defeat monsters, why you can actually save your progress and come back to it if you die, or stuff like that. So that's and everything is explained in universe. It's not something that is end waved. There's a reason why it works. There's a reason why it's logical in the world, but it's not something everybody can do. You need some special equipment. You need a special place, like a literal save point and literal magical objects to get premonitions of the future. So when you play, if you die, it was only a premonition, and you come back, and then you can change the way you confront the everything. So and there's rules to summon big monsters for a second, and
that is so fantastic. That is a very similar concept to what I've been plugging away on with recursion, in the sense that, like, how do you in different movies, whether it's like The Matrix or whether it was in Edge of Tomorrow, or was it Live, Die, and Repeat, where you literally have death, but then you kind of go back and retcon what actually happens, and you have death and retcon. And what you're saying, like save points, right? Like how can you mimic that interesting aspect of either film or video games in something like an RPG, which normally does not have retconning, right? I mean, like normally RPGs are very much, because you've got communal authorship, it's real hard to rewind stuff, because if you want to rewind one character's death, what about all the cool shit that happened to the other three characters at the table? Does that go away? And so that's something that my little brain is plugging on. So I haven't read Ultimate Reverie all the way through yet, but I'd love to see how you handle that, because it's a very cool way of expanding RPG possibilities. It's not something that a lot of people have done. So like, why not go there? Why not figure out a way to emulate that?
Just because I know that we'll get a reaction as a GM, just like how Blades in the Dark made the flashback an actual game mechanic, something you see in movies, but they made it a game mechanic you can use, that actually you had to use to win. So that's what I wanted to do. Use something that's only fine in a certain media, which is role-playing games, the save point, and transport it into role-playing games.
No, that's super cool. Super cool. The yeah, right, and like Table Cats, it's like I was thinking that the Battlelords plus a reset mechanic would make a great right.
Yeah,
Yep.
Absolutely.
100%.
The
Battlelord is very, 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 very good. I really enjoyed working on Battlelords.
Right.
I just thought so good, so good. So I would be remiss without mentioning Happy Monster Cast. There's stuff. I mean, the theme was love and death, not police procedurals. But they too delved into the like, what would happen if you had investigators and stuff. So their episode 94 sewer level was detectives Marlowe and Shaw, which is totally right out of what we were talking before, and their associates Harrison, Harrington, and Mallard as they explore the Chicago sewers in search of goblinoids in Deadlands Noir.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Deadlands Noir is such an undervalued setting. I really, really like Deadlands Noir. I wish you had more stuff about it.
You have to publish it for Suede now.
I know.
Right?
I mean, Suede's only a couple years old, guys, and it's hard to go back and do all the stuff.
Yeah, we want Reapers, we want Elfrost, we want 50 Phantoms, we want everything for Suede now.
Yeah, do it all again, guys. Do it all again. Yeah. So I will say that we have not put Deadlands. I love Deadlands Noir. I mean, it's super. I love the black and white noir, just kind of noir as a film genre as well. So that's it's not Daryl. It's the fact that like we have to make sure that Deadlands Dark Ages is noir.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, actually, before we go back and put John Goff back on Deadlands Noir updates. So that's where we've got Goff in the dungeon, making sure that Dark Ages. I mean, Dark Ages. So it's the dark noir. It's there.
I'm so wishing Dark Ages will go out because I need to work on my timeline of Deadlands, and I know they will. I hope they will clarify a few things so I can make sure my headcanon is right and how all the timelines is entangled and where Merlin is coming from. Is he coming from Hell on Earth, Deadlands, or someplace else? I have so many theories about Deadlands Dark Ages. I can't wait.
Yeah. No, I'm super excited too. I haven't seen a manuscript yet. It's out there. I just don't have access. So I too am like eagerly waiting. Like, what are you guys gonna do with the Morgana effect? Just let me know. Gotta want some advanced copies. So yeah, I'm super excited about that too. Let's see. So before we run over where are too much, let's make sure we haven't missed anybody.
We had like Enhanced Allies. I really enjoy it. It's very close. It's very short. It's very good. It's simple mechanic to create allies on the fly and make them unique and give you ideas about how your allies can be. Just draw a few cards, assign them to allies, and you'll have edges, hindrances, a few traits that are better or worse, and then you have a unique ally that has personality with only a few card draw. It's very, very good. I really enjoy it. It's the kind of thing that I wanted to have more of it, because that's very simple, that's very quick, but that fills a niche that will help GMs and players alike, because you sometimes as a player you have like 6 or 5 or 10 allied extras and you want to give them personalities. That's a quick way to do it. And that's that's a very interesting option. It's very short, but it's very helpful, so it doesn't have to be long to be helpful.
Well, and I also just like that it's card draw instead of just rolling at the D20, because I prefer having tables that are twice as big. Let's just be honest here. Like card decks, 52 table entries is just twice and then some, 10 more %. The options as you get from like a D20 or any smaller tables, it's like that's a good amount, right? Like you're not running over the save. If you go around the table with 20 or with 52 instead of 20, you're not going to get two of the same, so that's good. Dig it. And multiple Any award winner. I'm sorry, swag, which is better than Ennies, let's be honest, because it's,
Yeah.
so it's good.
Mhm.
Let's see. Have we finished any other ones? Oh, The New Girl. The New Girl is a one-session adventure for Pine Box Middle School, written to follow the first session of Descent into the Inferno. Oh, we're getting hot and spicy real quick for middle school. A new arrival is seen in the supply closet after science class. Can the gang help her? That sounds cool.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about how to explore the mentality of a teen girl, bullying. So there's a few triggers here. If you have, do not read that adventure if you have bad experience or that will trigger emotions. But if you are ready for it, that's very good, because you can go in a place that doesn't that RPGs doesn't usually allow you to go, which is something that's more like Powered by the Apocalypse, that will go there where you have character exploration. But that's very a good way to explore what happens when you deal with grief, with bullying, with emotions and everything. So that's very interesting for that.
Yeah, I really like how Tracy laid the groundwork for approaching that kind of stuff, in a respectful but still fun manner. Like, JM and I, we will rant endlessly about gaming as therapy. Just given
Rant against.
Right, against,
Yeah, okay.
yes. And I think for me, it boils down to gaming. The ultimate goal is fun, not rehabilitation. And so there's different expectations there, right? And that I think medicine should be delivered by people who actually have, degrees and training and your best interest in heart and overcoming whatever is, thing. Whereas I think gaming is it's much more about fun. The stakes are lower, and I think they should be. Which is not to say you can't do heavy, weighty things in gaming. I just think that I don't think either a GM-less or a novice kind of just game master whose goal is to deliver you entertainment is necessarily the right person to work through clinical level stuff, right? Like that's just like let's not make the weight of gaming clinical level stuff all the time. I think gaming is an escape, and that's definitely therapeutic. I'm not getting wrong on that, but exactly. The game master is not your therapist. They're there to tell a fun story. And, you pay a therapist to have your best interest and your healing in mind. Whereas I think the social agreement with a game master is fun, and praxis of medicine necessarily isn't fun. Sometimes it's very difficult and hard in many ways. So not to have that conversation here again, I love the fact that Tracy did such a good job on Pine Box Middle School that you can touch on those issues of like bullying and outsiderism and being the different kid and ableism, but not have them be a stumbling block for enjoyment of a game and role playing. And so it is little T therapy, not big T therapy. It is little T fun, big F fun, little T therapy. It's therapeutic in a sense, but it's not, we're not wagering your mental health specifically on it. We are hoping that the entertainment you get makes you improve your mental health. But
yeah,
that's my rant.
It provides, to go into Tolkien, it provides recovery and escape, not like a coward from the battlefield, but from a prisoner from the bars. And those can be therapeutic and beautiful. But I agree. I agree with what Tink said there. That would be way too much pressure to put on any GM and player group.
Right? Yeah. Right? I know, it's like, again, having session zeros and talking about stuff beforehand is great. Good communication is, bad communication is definitely leads to other health issues and communications. But do not put on your group that this has to be clinical and praxis. Like that's, right? Exactly. Cardboard screen, not medical license. So, keep it fun, keep it light. And that's not even advice on where people can write games. I mean, are great, interesting RPGs being written by folks that do cover crazy stuff that you wouldn't think you'd be comfortable with. But
one of my
yeah.
favorite RPG of all time is an allegory for trauma and all sort of terrible stuff that can happen to you, which is Changeling the Lost. So I'm a big fan of using your trauma and using all the bad emotions you can live and actually transcend them by playing through them. But like you said, it's for fun. It's not a therapy. It's
on a completely wild tangent. I agree with you, Alb. I think Changeling the Lost is the best reimagining in the new World of Darkness.
Yeah,
I bounced so hard off of Changeling the Dreaming. I felt like it didn't fit at all. And then I got to Changeling the Lost, and it's like a game of beautiful madness. And I'm like,
that's there's
I'm here
so
for
many.
it.
I think I always dreamt of making a Savage World translation of this because there's so many good setting rules that just transform how you play, like the pledges where you can actually make binding deals with people and give power through it, or like using narrative tropes to get more power. Like
If you ever do that and you need someone to bounce ideas off, reach out.
Okay, I will.
We come back to the design show.
That's right. Welcome back to the design
show.
And we have nested like Russian nesting dolls inside this larger. We're still Creator Jam.
And that's
still going on.
That's a perfect segue, right? Like, so one, I definitely think we want to get more Ace and Swag people on just to talk about game design.
Yeah.
And I think from the PEG perspective, it's like we're selling you games. That's our game design, right? We already know your fans, but I think for the creative community, I mean, there's just so many more different voices. I definitely want to bring you guys on in the Ace and Swag community. Just talk about your theories on game design and how the stuff that you're making is different and cool and fun. Because I mean, you see the amount of stuff that came out just in 1 month. And here's the amazing thing: I think people don't realize, like, most of the things you'll first hear about from PEG have been at least a year in production and planning before you even hear about them. Then it's probably another year before they come to crowdfunding, and then it's probably a year after that before you get your hands on those books. And so, I mean, these are multiple year staged kind of things.
Ghost Mountain, I think, was announced almost as soon as SWAD was a thing, and it's just been kickstarted. So yeah, that takes a long time,
right? And so, the fact that folks were able to, and when did you announce Festers February? Like sometime in January?
I think it was December.
December, okay.
We discussed it in November in the group, and then it was in December. I said, let's go with it. I hired an artist. And
I love that piece of
yeah.
Do we have that? I think
we do.
I think here it is. Boom. Oh, so good. Look at all the little details in there. Just like the art
that was awesome. So, some of the funny things, I especially asked when the dragon and the lady on the dragon was on the first draft, but I said, hey, could you get her red hair? Because she's the mascot of Savage World, so you can have red on the logo. And we actually missed the exclamation point after fun. So I said, oh, just say that the dragon breath is breaking it apart and add it where it fits. So that's all the little things. And there's a chocobo. I don't know why there's a chocobo there. And so those are probably the best the best crazy idea I had. And
no, it's so good. It's so good. I just love, like, the tea's got a very Asian inspired, Taoist, I think, is Temple Gate anyways. And the Illuminati or the pyramid and the potion. It's great stuff. So I mean, it's pretty amazing on a 2-3 month head start, or even some people just did it in February, being able to get something out the door that is in layout, with art, and it's edited. That's just that is an amazingly short timeline. I think was the short version of the long story I was going for. So we are so cool to see you guys doing that stuff. So yeah, let's get a creator jam just talking about game design and tropes and how. I mean, I think one of the problems with like feminist frequency, they decided to like make a war on tropes so that anything that was like
Tropes are tools. Tropes aren't bad.
right.
Tropes aren't good. One of my favorite author, which is David. No, it's the guy who wrote the Belgariad, which David Eddings. David Eddings is a kind of guy that will thrive on tropes. He will use all the tropes you can find, but he's such a good writer. It's such good books, even though they're all cliches, but it's still incredibly awesome. So you can have a very good book that use all the tropes, and you can try to be edgy and write an awful book.
Yeah.
Right, and exactly, they are neutral, and there's so many terms recently that have come into like just people bored clicking and expressing rage with the internet that should be academic and neutral. Like cultural appropriation, even though the word appropriation seems a little pejorative, is a neutral academic term. It's like talking about a meme. It is a meme that comes from one culture to another. And then suddenly people just decided every instance of it had to be negative. It's like, no, like there are,
pizza is cultural appropriation.
Right. And so that's the problem with like the internet, right? It's like you're not in a classroom setting to realize that these are terms that can be neutral and applied positive and negatively. And they have nuance. No, I'm a keyboard warrior and I heard this term. So
are you saying the internet is not for nuanced discussion?
No, the internet is for
right. It's a horrible cesspool, but I love it because we're using it now to talk to
That's
people.
Right. That's why we're talking.
Right. It is an amazing bit of like, creativity and nuance, folks. Let's do this. So one, awesome that all the swag folks that came out for Patrick February. If you guys want to see any more of these guys, we will try to get folks on to talk about any of the individual awesome things, right? And why is it cats? Dogs are better than cats. That's a hot take. Oh, wow. Let's get some hate mail on that. Love that you guys have been so productive. We are so happy about that. Look at this. We're getting canceled already. And super proud of Savage Universe. So I think the big news coming forward, one, we're definitely going to have a few more casual streams. So I'm going to do a couple streams in the next few weeks called Office Hours. And we're just going to bring on some PEG folks or some other folks who just want to talk about what they're doing. Right, the line has been drawn. Sides have been. Let's get the sides here. The great internet cat versus dog wars. Like I was actually pretty amazed that like Reddit was very cat friendly. I'm like, apparently dogs and cats are political now, guys. Whatever. But right.
I'm just distracting you now with comments.
I know you are. I know. We're just gonna go for 2 hours. Now I was gonna do a fucking outro now.
This is the least amount of power that has ever gone to my head.
If JF can put up comments. And so we're going to do office hours. And I think first we'll probably get Dr. Amy to come on and talk about all the cool things she's doing with Sigil Services and Sigil. And because they have become rather quickly the #1 outfit for creating VTT assets and modules and packs and all the different names for all the different platforms. And their calendar is super full. Here we go.
I just read Think Hellraiser.
Oh no! Yes. I just love. I mean, so my thing against Feminist Frequency is like she completely misread Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim is a parody comedy commentary on all the things that she would agree with. That like
that's actually Poe's law.
Right? It's like gone so far you don't even recognize that. Like, the damsel in distress thing in Earthworm Jim is a commentary on all the games being damsel in distress. So when you criticize it for doing what you're doing now, but 20 years before, you have lost the message. Anyways, love Earthworm Jim. But do better, Feminist Frequency, because you got to give credit to people who did the commentary before you. But regardless, Dr. Amy, and we're going to do all the cool stuff that's coming up on VTT. And then JM next week, I think on Thursday.
On Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel.
Nice. We are going to do the Savage Universe, the first reveal. And we're going to get all of our aces to get, and swag folks to give some commentary on the feature set that we currently have and what more features we want. But the big cool stuff we're doing is, one, we want to finish the OGL conversation from way back when. I had said that we're happy with our licenses, and so we don't think that you guys need access to our properties. What we want to give you access to, and what we think would help you much more than allow you to play in Deadlands, is give you access to our channels and our marketing and our community, like a little more loudly. And that will help all of you, depending on, no matter what you're writing in. So Savage Universe is that. Of course, we're still going to have you guys on the Pinnacle newsletter and the PEG site, but we put out so much stuff and we're doing so much crowdfunding and there's all these things going on that I think, Ace and swag stuff gets a little bit buried sometimes. So we're going to take Savage Universe. So that the only real PEG stuff on Savage Universe is, here's our Kickstarters on the calendar, just so you can plan around them. Yep. Not that we need to advertise those there, just so we can show you.
And the Savage Worlds media network. So you'll be able to reach out to me and say, hey, I have a new stream dropping this week, or I have a new swag product that I'd like to get featured. And I'll work with you. We'll write up a little post for the front. You'll be able to send me information as far in advance as you have it, and we'll put it on the calendar. So if you have a new product dropping in 3 weeks, we'll put it on the calendar and you're going to be able to see it kind of slowly move towards the top. And then I'm totally going to be available. We're going to try and spotlight 1 to 2 products a week. So if you have something, even if you have something that's older and you want to get it out in front of people, email me. We'll talk. We'll get it some screen time on the Savage Universe.
Right. And Twitch and YouTube are kind of horrible about finding stuff in the same genre. Like they don't really, if you're watching a Savage Worlds actual play, they don't recommend other Savage Worlds actual plays, even though we got our own Twitch category. And, YouTube goes much more by keywords. And it's like, unlike D&D or some other systems where everybody's playing in the same world and the same genre, Savage Worlds is all over the place. You've got fantasy and pulp and police procedurals and all the other good stuff. So YouTube doesn't know what to do with that. They when someone's doing, The Goon and someone's doing Pine Box Middle School, they don't realize that people like the rule set too and might want to be watching both of those together. So having just a playlist. Oh, I agree, John Doom. Poodles are totally the worst. Do not agree, Tinker Hellraiser, the Catcher in the Dog. But I mean, I'm happy that you like cats more than dogs, so we're okay there. Just being able to have here's the media network, guys. Here are blog posts for people who are Savage Worlds bloggers. Here are review videos and actual play videos for people who are doing the Savage Worlds community justice and all that good stuff. We want to have that in one-stop shopping. You can come and just find those things, and you don't have to curate it all yourself. So we're super excited that that's going to be an effort that we're just putting a lot of attention behind. And I do think that the Chihuahua's original purpose was to be burrito meat. Any dog that small and obnoxious was not designed to be comfort. I don't even think they were good ratters. I think they were just designed to be burrito meat. So that's my also, Chinese cresteds have nothing to do with China. They join the Australian Shepherd as not being from Australia. The Chinese crested is literally like a Xolos quincuti, whatever dog, which is like a Mexican hairless large dog bred down with Chihuahuas.
And now the stream is all about dogs.
Oh, I know. That's the dog thing. Sir. I have written over 500,000 words worth of blog posts about dog genetics, breeding, health. I've been featured on HBO because of my dog knowledge during their Brian Gumbel Real Sports, and they did a thing on purebred dogs. Man, this is a can of worms. I am so happy to go down, but I will not anymore tonight because you guys want to get back in playing Savage Worlds, which does not take a position on the dog versus cat fight. We love all animals, even your fish and your cryptids. And
okay, for something with you, I'll try to write a cats versus dogs, Big Apple Sword Samurai adventure.
Yeah, we just need an apocalypse so that we'll have cats and dogs living together. It'll be fine. But also,
Yep.
fish are just a picture you have to clean. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about that.
Oh, that is so true. The oh wait. See? Someone Three Wolves got called out that there are no felinids.
It's called Street Wolves. That's
yeah,
what I'm
already.
saying.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's
So-
true. That's true. But not for racial breed reasons, guys. Just because wolves are cooler than cats, maybe. So, anyways, guys. So the big streams next week. We're going to do a big reveal on Savage Universe, and then we'll do some office hours. And then because we've just decided here, because it's cool, let's start getting some game design chit chat, little something casual, fun. We'll bring on different folks who want to talk about their game design that they have in the new products, and we'll bring back like fan favorites like Donald, and so he can tell you about his game design theory. And we'll just make it about third party, second party game design theory, because there's a whole lot more out there besides just Savage Worlds or whatever, and more products than we did. But have you ever? I mean, snow leopards are so cute. They're big, fluffy paws. I mean, I'm sure they could eat you and kill you, but they just look so cute doing it. But I just can't. I can't take anything that's got a tail that is so massive and cute. Like seriously, is like an animal that can kill you. Even though in Colorado, I think the mountain lions probably kill more people than wolves. I definitely know that like a few years back, some poor woman was like running along the Highline Canal.
The jogger.
And a mountain lion came down probably from 30 miles away along the Cherry Creek, whatever, and grabbed her. And so yeah, they might actually have a bigger death toll. But anyways, well, I mean, it's like other systems. I mean, what I should have said, because I don't really care about other systems. I should have said, we'll talk about game design in properties other than Pinnacle release properties, because we already know you love PEG stuff. And otherwise, it'd be like getting Don or getting Shane on, and Shane's gotten shy in his old age. So Rams are also pretty mean. So yeah, here's the thing. You know
what's the most dangerous animals up here in Quebec?
Human.
Moose.
No. Yeah, the
Mounties?
moose.
Oh,
Because you die when you drive into them by accident.
Oh,
And you know what's afterwards? Just afterward? Bees.
Oh,
Because
for the
people
allergies?
get
Allergy.
allergic reactions. So I like to live in a world where moose and bees are the most dangerous animals I can have to deal with, and not like rattlesnakes or other stuff that creeps me out.
And John Doom, who I play Grounded with, bugs are pretty nasty. But the moose thing. So I have a crazy moose story. I'll make it quick. So right about dogs. I used to be a border collie dog breeder. Bred a couple litters of border collies. Sold a border collie to a cattle ranch, working cattle ranch, Century Ranch, which is over 100 years old in Wyoming, and got invited up to the brandings for several years running. And a cattle branding is an amazing experience if you've never seen it. But after all the birthing season, you kind of get the dogs and the horses out, and you bring in the cattle to have them. You give them their vaccines, deworming, flea dip, all that kind of stuff, and then tag their ears, brand them for you to make sure that they're yours. So all of this is kind of a big thing. And right, Orca do eat moose, which is so crazy. So we go out on a trail ride, and Kara is this. She runs the ranch. She's this amazing rancher woman, just like superhero levels of cool chick. And before we get going, she's loading a very large handgun with either 45 or 50 caliber kind of bullets. And I'm like, "What's the handgun for? Mountain lions?" And she's like, "Maybe, but really for moose." And the deal is even if you're not driving a car on the highway to run into the moose during the spring seasons, because moose have their little babies at the same time the cows are having their babies. If you're going to go out on a trail ride, a mother moose will hoof you as faster than a gangster to death if you get between them and their little mooselets. And they're huge. They are big enough where they can kill your horse and you. I mean, it's just no question.
Moose. It's hard to explain how big a moose is.
Yeah.
It's quick. it has incredible reflexes. I've seen one dodge arrows. It's a surreal experience.
Right, and so I had no idea. I'm thinking, again, big cats are going to be a thing.
Yeah.
No, not so much. Big cats are a little wary of horses and humans in general. But in the moose, like they are as fast in water as they are on land, and you're just like, you look like the gangliest weird animal. How could you be quick? But
my only experience with moose growing up in Chicago was with a squirrel, right? Like that was, so I always assumed, moose were just, nature's comedians. This is now terrifying to me.
Rocky and Bullwinkle did us no service as far as which animals to fear and which animals to like.
I checked, and in the last 10 years, you had in the United States 1 fatal wolf attack and 2 fatal cougar attacks. So mountain lions are more dangerous than wolves, but it's 2 against 1 in the last 10 years. So not that dangerous. I
love all of these snake comments that are going up. Like
it's a savage world out there.
That's right. Ooh, that's a good quote to end on. Like,
right, we need to trademark that. It's a savage world out there.
Yeah.
So awesome, folks. We appreciate you joining us on this lovely Thursday. Thank you, Alb and Cyril, for
thank you for taking me in. I appreciate it.
Yes. It was our pleasure.
Yes, and we love the fact that, again, thank you for doing all the prep work for running an event, getting awesome cover art for it. I mean, that's just more work I don't have to do. So awesome. Yay.
That's right.
We appreciate that much more than you know. And we will have you guys all on again soon. We definitely like the Summer Showcase was the name, and then the Fast Furious Fall Features. Mm-hmm. And now we got the Fast Furious February event. So we're going to keep doing this, folks, because that is our commitment to you coming out of the OGL stuff is we know you love Savage Worlds. We know you love the PEG stuff, but there are so many great new creators, and we love seeing what they're doing. The quality has gone. I mean, if you compare Savage Worlds Adventure Guild with like the stuff on those other guilds, our stuff is great. I mean, right? 100%. It is high quality. I mean, seriously, go look at the go right now. Go pick up the City Chronicles and just see the art, the layout. It's just like Street Wolves. Other people are not. They're using the same 4 pieces of fantasy stock art, and it's crappy layout, and it's probably crappy design. Nothing against that. I appreciate it. It's very hard to be an independent publisher.
Well, by being honest, City Guard Chronicle and Mindrunner had, I think, 1 or 2 stock art, the same stock art in them. I checked. I found it funny.
Dean Spencer.
God damn you, Dean Spencer! Why are you so good at putting all your stuff up for reasonable prices on Drive for RPG? Oh no, yeah, SWAT totally has Dean Spencer in it, and Rick Hershey, and it's good.
TD Wantong if you use Shutterstock.
Oh God, yes, that TD Lutong, who also goes by what's his other creative name? It's got anyways. If you've ever seen a fantasy picture of a person with their back to you and some great giant beast facing on 95%, it's TD Lutong.
I'm writing a Monster Hunter book, and I think half the stuff with monsters on it are from TD Lutong. Yeah. So I totally agree with you.
It's so good. It's gorgeous. But the sad thing is it's
affordable and gorgeous.
Right? It's affordable. Yeah. So. And again, we could have an AI discussion, right? We could do stock art versus AI, and drama. Anyway.
Do I have opinion about AI? Oh my God.
Right? So let's talk about it. We'll get on the we'll do debate hour, and we'll bring our little first affirmative and then the second affirmative and then rebuttal, and we'll do it. We'll throw down. We'll do cats versus dogs in RPG settings.
I can talk about Oxford commas as well for all day long if you want.
So pro AI, pro Oxford comma.
No,
anybody else?
against against AI and against Oxford commas. I'm
Wow,
against.
We were so in sync, but at the start of this stream, these are hills I will die on. We will.
This is great. No, we should totally do. Oh my God, John Doom. Yeah, no,
Yes.
John Isaac. There's a question mark there. That's good. That's
Yes,
good. Okay.
I'm going to give you an example why I'm against Oxford commas. You have the classical example. I invited my parents, Mother Teresa and Gandhi, and without the Oxford commas, it's not sure if you're talking about 4 people or 3 or 2. But if you say with an Oxford comma, I invited my father, Gandhi, and Mother Teresa, are we still, you create an ambiguity. So the Oxford comma can have ambiguities with certain sentences. So the Oxford commas is just a clutch for bad structure.
No, sir. I
No,
think
no,
you are
no.
confusing the nominative clarifying phrase, comma, with the Oxford comma in that sentence. So it is actually the nominative clarifying phrase, which is causing ambiguity about whether your
because the
father is
Oxford
Mother Teresa or
comma
not.
because the Oxford comma exists, it creates an ambiguity because you're not sure if your father is Gandhi or just another people in the string. Yeah.
So
There's
here in
actually, there was actually a
America,
court case that
Yeah, I know
delivery
about
truck
that court case.
drivers in was it Maine?
Yeah,
They
exactly.
got extra money because of the lack of an Oxford comma.
No,
It's
I
not-
do like
it's not
Oxford
the-
comma because it's fun, and we don't have it in French.
It's
So
not
it's a change.
it's not the Oxford comma or the lack of Oxford comma that was the problem. It was the ambiguous wording of the sentence. If you
it's
actually
because you
rework
didn't
your
replace
sentence,
the prior
you don't
commas
need
with
the Oxford comma.
semicolons. See,
All right.
semicolons are a thing. It's so
Oxford comma throwdown. We'll do cats versus dogs.
Yes,
There is a
yes.
clear, correct answer. I really need to be on certain sides of this debate. I could not intellectually, honestly defend the other position.
Oh no! See, I have no problem with that. In my first debate class in middle school, I took the position that the Earth was flat because my partner. We got assigned the topic, and my partner was like, "I refuse. I cannot argue that the Earth is flat." So I had the most interesting hour-and-a-half conversation with the dude who founded the Flat Earth Society. I mean, called him up on the phone, talked to his wife. It was crazy balls. Anyways,
Was
story
this back
for
when
another
they
time.
still had the logo that they had members around the globe?
Yes,
Yeah.
It's around because the total ripoff of the UN logo and all that. Yeah,
What's
totally.
a globe? How do you use this?
I don't even know if the dude's still alive because he was pretty old then, and now I'm old. So, it was fantastic listening to just. I mean, I think it was probably my first experience talking with someone who probably has like a schizophrenic or schizo disorder or whatever level mental. I mean, but just believed it. Earth Chen is not flat. Says you, Primal Talk. Anyways, so lots of fun debates ahead, lots of good streaming. I think someone way back in the very beginning, maybe I can't even scroll back that far, asked if there was an update on
Necessary Evil. It was John
Necessary
Doom.
Evil. Okay, so yes, Necessary Evil is primed and ready to go.
I got
we
you, John
have
Doom.
just decided to have a little break because there's so much stuff getting delivered recently. They were like, let's give people their files before we ask for another round of crowdfunding. And we've had a little a couple people on staff have had issues that have drawn them away from being able to be annoyed with requests on stuff. So we're like, let's chill. Let's give ourselves a week or 2 more, maybe 3, and let some stuff get delivered, let some stuff get out, fix some of the bugs we've had recently with our delivery software. Sorry, Riffs backers. We our customer service and us, we've been trying on that campaign, and just make sure people are happy and that we're not rushing things too fast. But so compared to the end of the year update versus now, we're going to wait a little bit longer on Necessary Evil, but there's so much goodness coming there because we're doing a whole revamp. We're going to republish. Speaking of republishing stuff that's been out there for a while, republishing Necessary Evil 1 and 2 up to Suede, and then doing 3, and then there's at least 2 more Necessary Evils that are just one has also been written and one's in conception phase. I'm like, oh my god, there's so much good Necessary Evil stuff. So we're not delaying that too long.
2 more Necessary Evil, like in 5 total.
I think 5. I think
Cool.
Shane during the last thing was like, that's Necessary Evil 5. I'm like, what? What are you talking about, Shane? I knew there was a 4, but now there's a 5. What? So, and there's other good stuff there too. I mean, speaking of Necessary Evil, Doomguard is part of kind of the awesomeness of Savage Worlds inspired supers, and that's going to be a board game coming out soon too. And so there's a lot of good stuff that's like in the works.
Nice.
But there's no other reason for the delay on Necessary Evil than we wanted to give fans a break and our own team a little bit of a break from crowdfunding. So crowdfunders, if you don't know, are incredibly stressful. They're bizarrely time consuming, and but they are by far the best way to get products produced for a company of our size. So we're just taking a little bit of a break to make sure that, like, Risk people get their files, and then all the books like Hell on the High Plains is coming in, and then Fantasy, and then it's all this good stuff that's arriving, so people can get the actual physical book. So we just want to make sure that we have the bandwidth to make sure those go more smoothly. And
we are missing a companion too. When does the Sci-Fi companion get out?
Okay, so Sci-Fi is we are at the stage where Mike Barbeau is working fast and furiously on adding more rules to emulate more different tropes in Sci-Fi, and he's doing a pretty amazing job on it. So I think Shane is mostly done with his part, and it's in Mike Barbeau's corner. But Mike is also finishing Doomguard and then polishing. I think all this stuff has been done for Crimson Throne now, but I think that's all at the printer and coming in. But anyways, because we've tasked Mike with so many things, we can't whip the chains too hard. But the Sci-Fi is definitely in heavy production. So Dark Ages is in a little bit of like polishing and review, and that's a big one. We want to slot that one correctly. So I think that's the issue with that one, is just finding where we want to slot that one. That's a big release. Sci-Fi is in hard production, like pages per day kind of thing, with Mike on that. And so all that stuff's coming along really well. But I don't think
very nice.
We want to rush that one. So like we needed to get Horror out, and so Horror was with Pine Box, and like, you guys might not have noticed, this problem has been fixed now, but because we were doing Horror right around the holidays, a lot of the work had been done, but we had slotted our artists for other projects. So we didn't show you a whole lot of Horror companion art for that campaign. Maybe you notice now. Another good reason to pair it with Pine Box is like Pine Box had all the art in already, or most of the art in already. So we've got a whole bunch of Horror art now that's come in. Love to show it to you guys. Well, actually, we'll probably show it on
next. Let's do an artist stream, like an art stream, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do an art stream showing that. But like, we definitely couldn't have run the Horror campaign by itself, just with the amount of art that came in before the campaign. And
but so actually, I think pinning a companion with an actual setting is a really good idea, because you can actually show what you can do with it. I was sure that Ghost Mountain was postponed so it can be released with the martial art companion, and that
we will have to wait.
And that the last parsec will be released at the same time as the science fiction companion. So
I think Sci-Fi will be before we get. There's definitely a last parsec update coming down the stream. I don't know that we're going to pair anything with it. So here's the other thing too. The trying to align 2 projects to get printed at the same time is super tough.
Oh yeah.
And I think we were lucky that. Because like Scott, so here's the thing. Scott did the writing on the initial writing. Scott Woodard did the initial writing on Pine Box Middle School, I think 3 years ago. So, I mean, it was, Tracy definitely came on and did a lot of polish at the end and kind of, but I think the original Pine Box Middle School might have even been pre-Suede. It might be that old. So that's just kind of one of those interesting things where, like, we had to get the European version, the study abroad, out first in that universe, and then we're like, and then let's do middle school. So, and both of those were like multiple years behind. So that's a little, we're still in the making up time for the company being a smaller company when a lot of this stuff got done, and there just wasn't time to do the marketing and the crowdfunding. But now that like I'm here and Donald's here and Daryl's here, there is more bandwidth to get the stuff done. So we're still going through a lot of backlog stuff. So I'm not spilling too many beans, but there's a lot of stuff that has been written, and then we're also trying to keep like the companions. Companions needed to be one post Suede, right? So Suede has to be like really well tested, and then I think for fantasy we learned a lot of cool stuff with Pathfinder for Savage Worlds. So I definitely know that there are some cool play testing and revelations from that, which are working their way back into Suede and the Fantasy Companion. So it's good that we did that there. And the other thing about companions is because they're basically core rules, the play testing and the feedback phases are super, super important, because it's not just about an adventure going this way or that way. It's like, okay, all the stuff that we do that's fantasy from now on should be able to use the Fantasy Companion. So it's important to get this right and get it play tested.
Yeah.
And there's just no way to play test quicker. I mean, one, we give it to you guys to help play test, but actually doing at the table, rolling the dice, that just takes 4 hours of the slot and trying these things out and doing alternatives. So those are a big deal. Companions are a big deal on the behind the scenes stuff, on just like how much thought and effort and arguments between Shane and Clint and all that good stuff happens, and friendly arguments. And
this means that Dark Age will require the Fantasy Companion, or you will copy.
I don't think Dark Age will require, but Dark Age will definitely be informed by the Fantasy Companion. And yes, so there are, and like, so for other folks, just like, the some of the powers, like we consider, like, okay, how does this power work? How much does it cost? What are the effects? I think those are going to trickle all the way back into Suede. So I think with in the next year, maybe printing of Suede, those little changes will be updated.
Yeah, protection still needs to some editing.
Yeah, exactly. One of that and something else. So so there never will be a definitive version of Suede, I don't think, because I think these little back and forth things. And
I don't remember who said it, but it was It was a Swag creator. A book is never complete; it's only abandoned.
Or it's published once, right?
Yeah.
And
Venkel had a question. Do we have any word on when the core books are coming in?
So I think the last I heard, they were due at the beginning of this week, but then customs was stupid, and like we paid the customs, but then they're like, you didn't pay, and I'm like, yes, we paid, and so customs delayed us. So I think Studio 2 said they were due today or tomorrow, and I haven't bugged Studio 2 to see if they've been in today, but they are now off pre-order because they are close enough, like we can smell them like from the port, whatever. But so yes, if you want to order the new core books, they're off pre-order, and they will ship out hopefully within the next week or two. Awesome. But yeah, they're dangerously close, and so yeah, we are confident in saying that they're in America. They're near the warehouse. It's just whatever customs did, which is of all the things, right? There's the shipping crisis, and then anyways, all the things. But we're very happy that we are still here, still producing books. We still love you, and you love us, and all that's good. And we're going to actually get off stream as now we've gone for like an hour and 40 minutes, and few people are still watching. So go have dinner, go roll some dice. And,
roll some dice.
I just want to say Cyril is like 3 o'clock in the morning over here.
Yeah.
The things you guys do for us, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Cyril's going to have a bad day at work tomorrow, but we appreciate him being here.
Yeah, but I planned it. I checked. I have no meeting until 10, so it's okay. I can sleep a bit longer.
That's good.
So.
Oh, yeah, you French and your 4-day work weeks and stuff, we don't feel sorry for you. We don't. Maybe a little bit. So, yeah, we're also going to have to put up like the translator fight to see, does French really make
I think we can probably do a stream a week for like a year, just arguing about stuff, but that's probably just me.
I think it's healthy. I love arguing. If you haven't noticed, you don't have to agree with me to be my friend. Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
It's the French way. We can yell at each other, but still love each other.
Absolutely. Right, because we're family. That's the best part about it.
Yep.
So yeah, we're definitely willing to have those conversations. So we'll do the AI art stuff, and we'll do design philosophy, and then French and all the good stuff. So I'm gonna go have a croissant because those aren't even French; those are Austrian. Hot take. Hashtag. Let's make Cyril get mad.
Fries are Belgians, not
Fries
French.
are Belgian. Waffles are German. Like, you know, so many.
Wine
hot
is
takes.
Italian.
We improved everything. That's the point.
What good take, Cyril? See, that's a good take. See, so exactly. Here was one. Okay, we need to get off stream, but like there was this article for St. Patrick's Day, and the author of the article was so happy about shoving it in the face of American Irish that corned beef and cabbage is not an Irish food. 100% true. If you go back to the old sod, no one's eating corned beef and cabbage. It's very much an immigrant Irish food.
Corn is from Quebec, actually. And
the answer was, oh no, it's an Irish or it's a Jewish deli food. And I was like, yes, there are definitely Jewish delis, but it's not originating as a Jewish deli food strictly. It's a German deli food. Yes, half of German delicatessens were also Jewish, but it's actually, we have German erasure in America because of like 2 world wars and all that nastiness. So all the food that we like there's a lot of food that we like that's very German, like Frankfurters, hot dogs, hamburgers. Our beer is very German. We drink German beer versus English beer. But we have German erasure because we had 2 world wars, and we did just like we did with Desert Storm, and like, oh, the French aren't going to go send enough troops, so we're going to call them freedom fries instead of French fries. It's like they were Belgium fries before they were French fries, people, and it was German toast before it was French toast. And we don't pretend that hamburgers are from Hamburg and Frankfurters are from Frankfurt. No. Yeah. So, anyways, there's a great little thing about like food identity and cultural appropriation. And
oh my God, I can talk to you about Putin.
So, anyways, enjoy the awesome French croissants, croissant. And
that's actually quite good. Croissant.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Croissant.
Croissant.
I don't even know if we can form it. It takes practice to form those vowels.
Yeah.
It's so good. Anyways, we're going to get off the stream before we get canceled. Too much around. I just thought Shane is watching.
Thank you very much.
Merci, thank you.
How do you say what's good night in French?
Bonne soirée, bonne nuit.
Bonne soirée. Bonne soirée is good evening.
So with that, we're out of here, guys. Enjoy it. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Bye.